2011 Lincoln MKS. Customer complaint. It's running bad, like a misfire, and he said it was sick. Okay, so I get in it. Runs fine, no misfires. I drove it down the road. Also, no, it ran fine. I didn't see nothing wrong with it. I came in back to the shop and put the scanner. This is the codes I found here. So P0205 and P0305. Both for cylinder 5 issue. So I get in it. I already cleared the code, so I can't show you the freeze frame. But I did find that the freeze frame said it was misfiring or acting up cold. So that would explain why the engine wasn't acting up when I drove it, because that was already hot. Also, the scan tool was showing that it was adding 35% short-term fuel trim on bank 2, which is where number 5 cylinder is. On this cars, especially the Lincolns, I don't know why, they've had problem with the fuel injectors. They go bad. I don't know why. It's like they go open or they're bad. And on the other cars that I've done, they are, they're current. It comes in running bad. I check it, and sure enough, the injector is not reading right. Or I just did a quick ohms reading, and it was bad. On this car, when I brought it in, it was running fine. I checked the ohms reading on number 5 injector, and it was good. It was 15 ohms or something like that. I compared it with this other cylinder, which is here, which is 4, and it was, reading about the same. So I initially, was not worried about the injector. What I was, because I know these injectors go bad, and they had injector code, and also the fuel trim kind of tells me it was an injector issue. Because usually when it's no fuel misfire, the fuel trim numbers go way up, like this car had in the fuel trims, the freeze frame. But again, when I brought it in, fuel trim was good, injector was working, I ohmed it. I even used a current ramp, and it was good. It was, running about 1 amp. And I compared it again to number 4, and it was about the same. So I decided to cool the engine off. As you can see, I got 2 fans, and I had my just the own reading hooked up to see. Okay, so I said, what was I saying? Okay, so I hooked up the fans to cool the engine down, because I saw on the freeze frame that it was acting up when it was cold. So sure enough, I hooked it up. I'll hook it up in a minute. Hooked it up to the 5 injector, and with the engine still hot, it was reading 15 ohms. It was reading good. Now that I have the engine, the fans running for a while, I'm gonna check it again and see what kind of reading it is now. Okay, now I got the ohms reading hooked up. Check the ohms on number 5, and now it's OL. You can see it here. I have it hooked up. Checking across the terminals. Oh well, so yeah, that confirms that it is a bad injector, and I had to cool it down to get it to act up. Otherwise, I wouldn't have. I would have said nothing's wrong with it. Customer would have brought it up, picked it up, and then bring it back to say it's the same issue. I can hook it up to the next one here, number 4, and I'll show you what the reading should be. 1 second. Alright, now hooked up to number 4. You can see there. and the reading is 16.2, and that's how, you know, what should be. So yeah, this confirms a bad injector, and from the beginning that's what I was thinking anyway, because of the codes, because of the fuel trim. But I wasn't 100%, but now I am 100% that it needs a fuel injector, and this should take care of this issue. Injector cool down. You can see number 5. I still had it hooked up to measure ohms reading. So right now it's reading open because the engine is cold or cool. So this would misfire at core startup, or when you let it sit for a little bit to allow the injector to cool down. So right now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna heat up the injector with this heat gun, and you'll see the injector start to read, or you know, read in specs. And the complaint was it only misfires when cold, and it seems to go away when it's hot. And this will, you know, simulate a hot engine. There you go. Okay, got the heat going. You'll see it start to all of a sudden it's going to be reading. There it goes. Get heat on it. More heat. Okay. I'm not doing nothing. I'm just putting heat to it. Okay. 17. Okay, there it is. Like it's 17. I mean 16.9. So that's reading what the sensor is good. I mean, this sensor, the injector, is not open anymore. It's just a little heat makes the injector work again, and that would confirm the complaint of the customer that it will only, you know, drive or misfire when it's cold, but when it heats up it goes away. So intermittent, I guess you could say.